Hi guys, welcome back to Ranching with Rebecca. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca and this is Huckleberry. Huckleberry is a client's horse, so he's someone else's horse and he's been here the past 2 months and I have been working with him and just training him to ride. When he got here, he'd never been ridden. He was almost kind of mean because he was a bottle baby and he was just real pushy. If you want to hear more about his past, you can go look up some of the other videos from when we first brought him here. But today is his last day with me. So I was just kind of wanting to do a little review on everything he's learned, and then we're going to take him on a nice long trail ride. So you guys can come along for that, just as a final lesson for him. And then we're going to take him back tomorrow to his owner, so you guys can come along for that. So we're gonna get started. We got to either put a shoe back on or pull off the other one because he lost one of his shoes, and then I'm gonna warm him up and we'll get headed out on that ride. Okay, we decided to go with putting the shoe back on before we head out on our ride. We called the owners and they said that they're gonna be riding him, so they wanted us to put the shoe back on. He's being okay. He's still ornery as heck, and he tries to bite all the time, but he's still being all right. Stop trying to bite.
Looks pretty good right there. Oh.
You almost have to just have a chew tool for him to keep his mind busy. If I let him chew on a rope, he's well behaved. Oh. Most of the time.
It's important on these 2-year-olds to give them several breaks as you put the shoes in. Got that. And that way you can kind of check your work, especially since I'm not very good at this. But I say that looks awesome.
Okay, we got the shoe on and we're going to get him saddled up and head out on a ride. Dad is going to be joining us, or J.R. Rosa is going to be joining us for our trail ride. Yeah, Homestead Horsemanship for our trail ride today with Classy. So we're gonna go on a pretty good long trail ride, hopefully.
Yeah, and unfortunately she's rolled in the manure and she doesn't look her best for her.
Yeah,
she's on your channel.
She's a messy horse. She's one of the messiest horses we have. So Huckleberry had been here a while and he was getting tired of being in a stall, and so I had called the owners and asked if it would be okay if I turned him out in our pasture. So this is the pasture we turn all of our own horses out into, just to get a little energy off of them after they've been in a stall a while. He is so ornery, I don't even know how he did it, but he ended up cutting his ankle while he was out there. It was not a terrible cut, it didn't need stitches or anything. But I didn't want any of the brush hitting it or like thorns scratching it or anything and reopening it while we ride. His ankle didn't swell or anything. He was never sore. He was fine. But I did wrap it just to help keep any swelling that could come down, if any would, and to keep the brush or sticks or anything from hitting it and reopening it. So it never really affected us, and he did very well anyways. I probably had to ride him a week with it or so, but it never bothered him, and it closed up quite a bit by the time I had taken him home. Okay, for his warm-up, we're just going to walk around the barn a little bit. He's gotten to the point now where most of the time I don't even warm him up at all. I just go on a ride. But he has been in a stall for a little while now, and I think he's going to be a little hyper. I might regret not lunging him, but hopefully he just behaves anyways. But I am going to walk him around for a minute. A couple laps around the barn should do it. So Huckleberry normally stands very well when you get on him at first. Today you can see he's being pretty ornery and he stomped his foot a couple of times. I still am going to make him stand there until he stands well. Like I said before, he is hyper today, so he was just wanting to go, but you can see him trying to be patient. It was just harder today than normal. After I got him to stand there for a good minute being patient, I let him walk off. He was very happy to get to walk and get out. He was excited to go. I did end up riding him in the barn a little bit more of a warm-up, but I was also just waiting on Dad, so I just wanted to get on and ride him a little bit. So when I'm first starting out young horses, it's very important to make them stand there when you get on. Otherwise, they can learn to take off as you're getting on with the anticipation of you asking them to go already. So we always make sure to make them stand there. Sometimes when we're first starting, we'll get on and off a few times while they have to stand there and not move, so they don't learn to anticipate you asking them to go. Okay, so I'm down here with my grandma. She decided to come with us. So she's on Fancy. Fancy's just a horse that we've had. How long do you think we've had a Fancy?
Yeah, we raised her.
We raised her? Yeah.
15?
15, yeah. She's about as old as I am, a couple years younger. We're just going to wait for Dad, and then we'll head up on the trails. She can be in the front. Okay, Dad's here, so we're gonna get going. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys follow me?
Follow Grandma, cause Fancy.
I know where I want to go.
Okay. Huck is a little hyper right now, so it's kind of hard to film. I'm also doing this on my phone, so you're gonna have to excuse the camera quality for today. It's kind of hard to control him and film with my phone when he's this hyper, but he's being good still. It's super pretty out today. He's being good now that we got on the trail. He was a little hyper out in the open. Already starting to tire, and we're almost 5 minutes into the trail ride, not even. He's just a little boy still. Oh boy, it's a nice walk right there. Such a gorgeous day out. Got a little bit of an overcast. It's been trying to rain for the past couple of days. So it's just nice and cool. It's been hot for the past week. So hot that we haven't really been able to do anything. And I'm just very grateful for a day like this. These are my favorite type of days.
Becca, you see any horseflies on Grandma?
No, I haven't seen none. If you couldn't hear, Dad just asked if I seen any horseflies on my grandma's horse. Horseflies, if you don't know, are giant, mean flies that are just awful and hurt very bad when they bite. So they're really bad down here where we're at in Missouri. The horseflies can even leave little whelps or like bumps on the horse's skin after they bite. And some horses that seem to be more sensitive sometimes start like bucking or kicking at them. Grandma's horse that she's riding is very sensitive to the horseflies and really doesn't like them, and she will start behaving pretty awful during the summer when the horseflies are after her. This past year, there's been a lot of storms, and it has knocked down so many trees. We've been cleaning up paths this whole summer, but there's still just a ton of damage. All the damage, both sides. Of course, we've cleared out this path a lot. It was completely covering the path at first, but we got it cleaned up enough now where it's passable. But there's still a couple that are over the path that we haven't been able to get to yet. It was just terrible. Every 5 feet, there's another giant tree down that we had to clear out. Here's another one coming up. We're gonna go around it like Grandma. Huck, behave. He's being all stupid now. Okay, I'm trying to film this as long as he still behaves, but I'm splitting up from Grandma and Dad to just see how he acts. I think he'll be good. So far he is. They're just right behind me still, but we can still hear them. But I've never done this before. If I was in a group, I've never tried splitting up. So I'm gonna shut the camera off and make sure he's behaving first, and then if he's being good, I'll turn the camera back on, finish it up. But we're almost back now, so he's being good right now though, so very good boy. Just trying to test and see where he's at. All right, I'm gonna put the camera up now. Okay, he did real good. We made it back now. Just got to make it to the barn. I'm coming down on my grandma's property, so our property buds right up next to hers. So just got to walk up the driveway, basically, a little ways, and we'll be back at the barn. He did real good splitting up from the group for the first time. I was very impressed, and he's become a real nice horse to ride. Okay, we made it back. He's all nice and sweaty, but he did really good, and I think the owners are going to be very happy with him. He's a little ornery, but he's real easy to ride, and you can get along with him real easy. Okay, guys, it's the next day, and I just finished getting Huckleberry ready to go. We got the trailer pulled over here, and I just finished loading the tack shed with my saddle and stuff in case they wanted me to ride him while we're there. I rode him a little bit this morning just as a little bit of a warm-up / last little lesson to get his mind thinking straight before he went home. And then I just cleaned him up and groomed him and had him sitting in front of that fan over there, which I just turned off to make this video because it's loud. But had him sit in front of that fan to cool off for a little bit before we head out. We're gonna leave here in just a couple of minutes, so I'll see you guys when we get there. So it is the next morning. So the day that ride we just went on took place would have been the day before this. We decided to wait till today to take him back. So it's the next morning after that ride.
Good job, Becca.
All right, we got him back to his home. Dad went in to ask where he wants us to put him. We're not gonna ride him while we're here. We're just gonna unload him and turn him out and feed him, make sure he's got some food. So I think we're gonna turn him out in the pasture, so it'll be the first time he's gotten out in a couple of weeks, because after he hurt that ankle, we never let him back out after that. So we're just gonna unload him, let him loose, and then head out.
Yeah, stays back a little. Got a little bit of manners.
Hyper though, he's ready to be turned out.
Got like it's getting
Ready? Go on. You're free. You're free. I figured he'd have run off. Okay, so this is where we're gonna say goodbye to Huckleberry. So, I thought he was gonna run off, but I guess not. He just wanted to smell stuff and look around. It'd been 2 months since he'd been at home, so he was a bit in the pain in the butt to work with, but he ended up being a really nice little gelding, and he can make for a really good ride. He travels really well. He doesn't spook at anything. He was very, very non-fearful of anything. And he at least has some manners now. So I'm very happy I got to work with him. So thank you for everyone who followed along in this journey of me and Huckleberry. If this was your first video you've seen of us, make sure to go back and check out some of the other videos. We did some crazy desensitizing stuff with him. He did very, very well with every little obstacle I threw at him. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, Huckleberry.